We're going to be looking at how to find some summary statistics on the TI Inspire. So the first things that we're going to look at are measures of center. So we're going to look at the mean, which is the average of the data, and we're going to look at the median, which is the number that separates the data into two halves. Now, your summer homework went really in depth in how to find these things by hand, and that's great, but sometimes it's not practical because you have too many data points to actually sit and put everything in order or put the mean, and you just need to enter it into some sort of device and have the device help you. So let's look at this example. It says, find the mean and the median of the following heights of the random sample of 15 students. So a couple of things that I noticed. First, it asked me for the mean, then it asked me for the median, and we're talking about heights of 15 students. So the first thing that I'm going to do before I even touch my Inspire is I'm going to say, okay, well, I would like my X bar, my mean for the sample, and I would also like my median for the sample. Okay. So now that I have it organized, I am going to go over to my Inspire, and from the home screen, I am going to add new document, and I want to add a list and spreadsheet. Now, the first thing that I need to do when I add a list and spreadsheet is I want to label my column. So I'm talking about heights here, so I'm going to pick H, and then I'm going to click down into this first box. You could arrow down if you were using the pad, but I'm just going to click down. So now, all that I'm going to do is take all of these data points and enter them into this column. So 69, enter, 61, enter, 76, enter, and so on and so forth. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is when I get to the end of my data is I want to make sure that I actually entered enough. I had 15 students, I entered 15 pieces of data. The next thing that you need to do is you need to click enter one last time so that you're actually in the 16th box. A lot of times it will not read this point if you don't hit enter, so you need to hit enter so you're no longer like in this box entering data. So the next thing, now that I have all of my data entered, I'm going to hit Control, Document, and that's going to add a new page for me. So here, I want to just add a plain old calculator, right? And from that calculator screen, I'm going to go to the menu, and I'm in Statistics, so I'm going to pick Statistics, and then I'm going to do a stat calculation, and then I just want my one variable statistics, right? Because I only have height here. So I'm going to hit enter on that. And if you click on the X list, that variable H that I defined a few minutes ago, here it is. So I'm going to hit H and I'm going to hit enter, and it just spits out all of the things that I was interested in. So a couple of things. The first thing it's going to give you is the mean, which is coincidentally what I was asked for first. So here my mean is, here, my mean is going to be 66.2667. And then my median, if you scroll down on the Inspire, the median is right here. So the median is 67. Okay. And that's all you have to do to find those. Now let's scroll down and see what else it's asking us for. Now, we have a couple of other measures of location. We have the mode, the value that occurs most often. We have the minimum, which is the smallest data. We have the max, which is the largest value. Percentile we will deal a lot with later, but essentially it's where in the data, it's the measurement indicating the value below which a given percent of the observation data will all lie. And then we're also typically fairly interested in the first quartile and the third quartile, which is a fancy way in what is the 25th percentile versus the 75th percentile. So we're back to the same numbers. So I left this here because I've already entered the data and I've already performed the calculation. Mode, unfortunately, will not be given in these summary statistics. So you're going to have to go by hand and look. If you'll notice here, I have 1, 2, 3 63s. So my mode in this example is 63. Now my minimum in all of these other measures will be given to me in my Inspire. So my minimum is 61. My maximum is 76. My first quartile is 63. And my third quartile is 69. That we're going to look at are some measures of spread. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the range. The other thing that we're interested in is the interquartile range, which we get by calculating, by taking the, it's Q3 minus Q1. And that's a formula that shows up a lot. The standard deviation, your summer homework again went into very good detail about how to find that by hand, and then the variance, which is the standard deviation squared. So a lot of this is already contained in the what it gives you. So if we're looking here, we have a min and a max. We literally just have to take the min and the max and subtract. So the min here was, the max was 76 minus 61, and then you can just type it in and hit enter, and your range was 15. The IQR, you would do the Q3 minus Q1. So I would get 69 minus 63, which is 6. Now the standard deviation is definitely given to you up here. So my standard deviation, my SX, is going to be 4.283. And then my variance, I would just square it. So I'm just going to say 4.283 squared, hit enter, and my variance is 18.344. So that concludes how to get all of the things that it could potentially ask you for on the Inspire. Stay tuned. The next video will go over how to do a dot plot in the Inspire. So that will be the next video.